Okay, we are live. Welcome, everybody. I'm your on-air host and author, Sara DiVello, and I am so excited to welcome back the incredible Liv Constantine here to give us the inside scoop on her brand new book out tomorrow. Don't open your eyes. Liv, welcome back.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. It's always great to be with you, Sara.
Yay! Oh my gosh, we have so much to talk about. Tell us about this book.
Oh my goodness. Well, Don't Open Your Eyes is the story of Annabelle, who's living a picture-perfect life in the picture-perfect neighborhood with a great job, 2 beautiful children, a lovely husband who's a doctor. And she begins to have dreams that her husband and she are having terrible fights and she hates him and her children are in danger. And she just thinks, that maybe it's because she started meditating, what's going on, some kind of, thing in her subconscious. And they slowly, some of these dreams start to come true. Details from her dreams start to materialize, things that she could not have known that she dreams about in other areas. And she starts to realize they're not dreams after all, but visions of a future and visions of a terrifying future. So she's struggling to try to figure out, can she prevent tragedy from occurring? And, she tries to change things. Sometimes she makes things worse. Her husband sort of thinks maybe she should be seeing a therapist. And, so it goes on. And it really explores themes of intuition, learning to trust your own heart and your own gut, motherhood, marriage, all of the expectations that are put upon us as women, and then there's also the maternal daughter bond. There's a point of view from her 16-year-old daughter, and she is chatting with a boy online that she hasn't met, and as that progresses, we start to wonder, is he really who he says he is? So, typical, hopefully typical Liv style, a lot of twists and turns, but this one takes a bit of a speculative turn, which is a departure from, previous books.
Yeah.
And again, a look at really the whole Don't Open Your Eyes is like really open your eyes, look at your life and see, other people are saying, don't open your eyes, but you should really open them up.
Oh my goodness. Well, oh my gosh, I have so many questions because these are all the things that, I worry about so many of these things and I struggle to trust myself.
Right.
So this is just so relatable. So I can't wait to get the inside scoop and hear all about it. But first, I just want to welcome everyone. We are broadcasting live to 7 different destinations across Facebook and YouTube. So mystery and thriller loving friends, no matter where you're watching from, you're in the right place. It is the right time. It is Mystery Monday. And because Mondays can be murder, we are going to make it a little less painful and get your week off to a killer start. So if you've been with us before, you know the drill. And if you're new, welcome, friends. Here's the drill. Every Monday, I give you my handpicked featured authors, and you get to ask them anything. So ask Liv about her writing process, about this book premise. How did she get this idea? How does she write her books? Any questions that you have going on, just get them going in the chat. Renee is joining us from Southeast Florida. She says, hi, Sara and Liv. Hi, Renee. Everybody's getting to know each other in the chat. So good to have everybody here. Okay. Okay. So Liv, I want to kick off with a question that I have, because as a woman and just as a human, I struggle to trust my intuition. I struggle, every time I get on a plane, I'm like, oh my God, is it going to crash? Is it my intuition or is it my fear?
Right.
All I have are worries. So when I saw that this was the premise of your new book, I was like, oh my God, it's me. So is this something that you also struggle with? And you're like, what if I wrote a book and this was like a really strong, like this was the true? How did you come up with this idea?
Yeah, I definitely have that I don't know if I want to call it superstition. There's probably an element of superstition that maybe any of us that have any form of anxiety, which I almost feel like most mothers at least do, and not just mothers. Everybody, has to deal with uncertainty, right? We live in an uncertain time. Life is uncertain. Things can happen. We're really bombarded all the time too with just the news and social media, so much more now than ever. It's really difficult to get away from it, right? You can be on Instagram just trying to look for books, and then you're going to see 10 news stories that are going to scare the heck out of you. So I guess I was playing around with the premise, which is not exactly what I did here, but the premise of destiny versus choice, and how much are the things that happen in our lives affected by what we do. So whether you leave your house 5 minutes earlier or 5 minutes later, if you choose to go take this direction rather than that direction, that all of those seemingly really mundane details can have monumental consequences. But we can't live our lives that way, because we would second guess everything. And how do you know, right? You could say to yourself, well, I'm worried if I go out, something's going to happen. And then if you stay home, then what if your ceiling collapses? I mean, like, there's just a million scenarios. And, I think we've talked about that before. It's very easy, especially, I think, when as writers and as thriller writers, our minds go to all kinds of crazy places, right? So just today I was at the gym and there was a big white van parked a couple things like away from my car.
Oh my God, the kidnap mobile.
And I mean, I'm thinking it's probably fine, and it was raining, so it would have been much more expedient for me to go straight. But I thought, no, I'm not walking behind that van. Like, what if the doors swing open and they have a stun gun? So I walked around. Those are the kinds of things that I think you can relate to that, right? That maybe most normal people would just go to their car. So all of these kinds of musings, I think, had got me going. And then I also have very elaborate, crazy dreams, which fortunately are not prophetic, and I hope they never are. But I did start to think how scary that would be if you were dreaming things and then all of a sudden they started to happen. And to your point, Annabelle, in the book, not everything that she dreams is a vision. And she does have anxiety, right? I mean, she does have anxiety because of trauma in her past, because of normal life, because of being a mom to two young girls. And that's what her husband keeps chalking everything up to. It's because she had dealt with anxiety in the past. Now he's saying, oh, this is just manifesting. You're stressed out. And she does have to make that decision of reaching a point to look inward, to start researching, to start taking agency and saying, hold on a minute, you can't tell me that I'm crazy. This is, look, this happened, and I'm not going to ignore it. And there has to be a reason. And of course, there is a reason for her dreams in the book. So.
Exactly. The struggle is indeed very, very real. Yeah. And it's really hard to trust yourself. I mean, this is something that I'm actively working on, is trusting myself and trusting that gut wisdom when we do live in such a fearful world, and where there's legitimate reasons to be afraid, but you don't have to be maybe as fearful as I am all the time. So this is just, oh my God, so relatable. And I literally don't know what I would do if I started having my dreams come true. Oh my God.
That won't happen. I know, yes.
Renee wants to know, Liv, how did you come up with the great title?
Oh, great question, Renee. We struggled for it. It was a lot. I'm trying to think. We played around with the word premonition for a while, but of course there's the movie. There's a movie Premonition, so we really couldn't do that. And I can't remember. It probably were 20 or 30 titles that we kept going back and forth. And then Don't Open Your Eyes, just thinking about sleeping, right? Don't open your eyes, open your eyes. And it seemed to be a good fit, especially because on the surface, this woman's life does look so perfect and like everything is fine. And so if she doesn't open her eyes, she's going to think everything is fine, but open them, and then you see other things. So.
Exactly. Wow. 20 to 30 titles. That's a lot.
Well, they're hard. How some books, I feel like right away the title seems to come, and then other books, it's you don't want to be too on the nose, right? And then on the other hand, and it's so, you just never know what title's really gonna, after the fact, which is going to be something that resonates with people. So hopefully this does. I mean, I think they did a really beautiful job on the cover, and the title goes well with that. So it's a great team.
Thank you for the question, Renee, and thank you for that answer, Liv. Robin is saying, joining us from hot Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. She says, hello, Sarah and Liv. Hi, Robin. So great to have you. Robin says, when I get cranky at catching too many red lights in a row, I tell myself to chill. Maybe there's a reason. Oh my God, I have those thoughts too. Maybe if I had caught all greens, I would have been in a car accident or something. But so it's slowing me down, and oh my God, I totally have those thoughts. Renee says she listens to her intuition. That's awesome, Renee. Good for you. I'm still working on that. I want to let you guys know that the book is not out yet. Liv is coming on to give us the inside sneak peek into the book and take all of your most pressing questions. So you can pre-order from our favorite woman-owned independent bookstore. That is, of course, Murder by the Book. And whether you're watching with us on Facebook or YouTube, here is the link to pre-order now. Murder by the
Sarah,
Book.
sorry, if they pre-order, there you can go to a link in Instagram, and I'll put it on the website too. I think it might be there. You can get a bonus chapter that will. It's an after the end bonus chapter that will get emailed. All you have to do is just email the link. Maybe I should send that link to you and to Random House, and they will send the bonus chapter when the book publishes. So it's a very fun romantic chapter.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, so fun. Okay, you guys, you heard it here first on Mystery and Thriller Mavens. Yes. If you pre-order, you can get a free bonus chapter from Liv Constantine. So that is so exciting. So I'm going to post the link to Liv's Instagram right here so that, one, you can follow her. If you're not already following her, you've got to get in here. So here is that link. It's just Liv Constantine #2. So here's that link. Click and follow her. And then also
I'm going to send you that other link right now, so you have
it. Okay, perfect. And then you can get that bonus chapter. I'm actually going to pull it out of your link tree, Liv. Okay. I've got it right here. So yeah, so then you can, I'm going to also share, I'm going to put the link. Here's the pre-order campaign. So follow her here on Liv Constantine 2 on Instagram. And then here is the pre-order campaign link that you can participate in when you pre-order. And we are all team pre-order here. You get that bonus chapter, which is so exciting. Robin is saying, what? You gotta love a bonus chapter. So fun. I love a bonus chapter. Wait, so let's talk about the bonus chapter. Did the bonus chapter, was it part of the first draft and it didn't make it into the first draft? Or were you like, no, I have more to say, or I just want to do something fun for my loyalist readers? Like, how did this happen?
The second and the third. So I wanted to do something fun for pre-order. So it was written after. And it's, because most of books and this one as well, it's not that it ends on a cliffhanger, but you don't know where the characters are going to go, maybe in 6 months or in a year. And so the bonus chapter gives you that answer, and it's a romantic chapter. I will tell you that. So there's some romance in there.
Hey, oh my gosh. Okay. So I posted the links they're all in the chat, wherever you're watching from. The chat is for the bonus chapter, which I'm now like so excited about. So I just want to remind everybody that one of Liv's past books was a Reese book club pick, which is, so exciting. And did I see some super exciting Netflix news, Ms. Liv? Tell us everything.
Yes. So they have cast Amber, and it is Jennifer Lopez, which we're over the moon about. I think she's going to be such a great Amber. Robert Zemeckis is going to be directing, and he is the one who directed Forrest Gump and Back to the Future, among many others. So we're just so excited, and we're waiting. I don't know who's going to be Jackson yet or Daphne, but I'm sure they'll pick somebody terrific, and hopefully they'll start filming sometime this year. We don't have a date yet, but fingers crossed. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, this is so exciting. So there is going to be a Netflix series, Robert Zemeckis directing, J-Lo cast as Amber, and we are standing by. Just so excited to see who else they cast.
Yes.
As we also get ready to celebrate your next book out next week, which is so, so, so exciting. Yay. I'll let you take this, Liv.
The Last Mrs. Parrish is the book. And that was our debut. So that was pretty exciting. Yeah, that was the Reese pick, and that's the one. So it will be a movie. And then hopefully, we've written a sequel, The Next Mrs. Parrish. There's a prequel, The First Shot. And then actually Valerie and I are just finishing up a Jackson prequel. So you're going to find out all the making of Jackson Parrish. So another, villain. So we're hopeful that maybe after the movie comes out, that perhaps Netflix will roll out a series. I mean, we don't have that confirmed or anything, but that's our hope. So.
Oh my gosh, so exciting. So exciting. Yes, such exciting news. For those who don't have Netflix, I'm sure that it will be accessible other places, or maybe it's time to get a Netflix subscription.
Yeah,
There's some good TV out there.
Yeah.
Okay, so Liv, let's get back to Don't Open Your Eyes. So tell us imagine we're a fly on the wall watching you at your computer every day, write your book. Are you one of these writers? Do you write every single day? Are you like, I don't get out of the seat unless I write 1,000 words? Like, give us a sneak peek into the secret world of Liv Constantine.
Yes, I do. I mean, I come up to my office every day. I mean, unless I have something going on, but usually I don't, unless it's book tour related or whatever. I'm not really, like a lady who lunches or anything like that. So I come upstairs and I work pretty much all day. I do some social media. And again, it really depends on where I am on a project. So if I'm in the midst of drafting a new book, that's primarily what I'm working on. And in the beginning, I do procrastinate. I give myself a word count. And I might get up and down a few times, but I'm not allowed to shut down until I reach that word count. But I have to say, in this next book that I'm working on, not Don't Open Your Eyes, but the one that I'm working on to turn in the fall, I'm halfway finished, but I got a little distracted because I'm working with someone writing a pilot for the network. So, and I've been doing some screenwriting for that and for the Senator's Wife. So I kind of veered off a little bit and blew my deadline, not my deadline to my editor, but my personal deadline. So now I have to get back on the stick and hold myself to that and it's really hard when you get out of that discipline. I don't know how you are, Sarah, but like if I'm doing it every day, right? But then as soon as
totally.
And so I'm kind of like, we did a family vacation a couple of weeks ago and we just got back. So I've written a little bit, but I gotta start cracking the whip again. But normally I'm really good. I'm really good at that. But I've given myself a little too much grace because I've had the time. You know what I mean? Obviously, if it were like due next week, I would do it. I'm usually early on my deadlines, but I've been spending a lot of time on Canva and social, and that kind of stuff instead of writing.
But I think that that's the thing that nobody really talks about is that to be an author I don't know any author that just gets to sit in their, writing cocoon and sip coffee and stare out the window at the pastoral view and think oh, what shall I write? I'll let the words come. It's like, yeah, I wish it was like that, but no, we have to really be equal partners in the marketing process. We need to be out talking to interviewers and talking to readers and, hustling, and it's hard. And I think we don't really talk about that a lot or at all.
No, I think you're right. And and it has to be, if I just waited for when I felt inspired, of course, I probably wouldn't never write. I loved writing, but really it's in that old expression, and I should remember, I can't remember, maybe it was Louis L'Amour, I don't know if that's right, who said, the water doesn't come until you turn the faucet on.
Ooh, I don't know that one. That's so true. And
it might be quoting the wrong person, but that is the right. And it's sort of true, the same thing with the writing. Once you kind of get into the groove, it's much easier. So that I do try to stay in that so that I don't have the pain of where I am right now, which means I've got to push myself back into it, and I will get there. But that's my pretty much my routine. And then if I'm in the midst of edits, in a sense, even though they're on the one hand they're harder, and I don't know if you feel the same way, but on the other hand, you have a total roadmap, so it seems a bit easier, right? When you're in the midst of writing, all of a sudden, especially in that middle, which is where I am now in the new book. And so it's like, okay, what's next? Do I go here? Do I go there? It's and I'm not dreaming. That would be nice to dream about. Some dreams of plots, right? Like where to go.
I would. Oh my God. Can you imagine? You wake up, you're like, I have it.
Yes, I know what to do. Once in a while I've had like a little bit of a dream about, but never a full dream that tells me everything to write. So I might try to program that into my subconscious a little bit. Maybe that will happen.
Maybe you need to take more naps.
Maybe. I don't know. Yeah, I think just make me more tired, honestly.
Oh my gosh. Jane Brannigan, welcome to the conversation thing. I'm so excited to read this book. Yay.
Thank you, Jane.
Robin would like to know, Lynn, what is your favorite treasure on the bookcase behind you?
Oh, wow.
That's
a great question. I have to look. I have a lot of treasures. I have an old icon from my grandmother that I really love. I don't know if you can see it. I can grab it. This is here.
Oh my gosh, I love that.
Which is really neat.
Oh, it's beautiful.
And let's see. And then I have I think you can see the wave back there. My sister gave me that because she knows I love the ocean. And what else? Yeah, I think just I have little mugs that different people have given me, which are nice. And then my daughter gave me this is shoot, I just dropped him. Oh no. It's okay. I got him.
Okay, I hope he didn't make. Oh, are those your book covers?
Phil from Modern Family because he's my favorite and he's holding a book.
So, oh my god, that's so cute. So cute. Oh, I love it.
Yeah. And all around me, I have pictures of my kids and pictures of books, and it's a space that I enjoy being in and coming into. It's very crowded. I don't have any space left on my wall to hang anything. So.
Renee would like to know, Lynn, do you and your sister work on all your novels? So many people may not know that Liv is actually a 2-person team, a sister team, which is my favorite. And so your sister Valerie is half of Liv. So tell us about that. Do you work on all your books together?
So we've worked on the first 6 together. The Don't Open Your Eyes is the first one that is just me. Because my sister's taking a break. She's working on something just more straightforward fiction, not thrillerish. But yeah, we are, as I said, we are working together on a novella still. But the next 2 full-length novels are just me. So she wanted to take a little bit of a break from the book a year and all the traveling. She's got a granddaughter in Colorado. She just has some other things that she wanted to do. So, keeping under the brand. But of course, she's read this and, I've gotten her feedback and she's always only a phone call away. And she's interviewing me for my launch. I'm doing my launch in Annapolis and I'm staying with her and she's going to be interviewing me for my 2 Maryland events. Yeah.
Oh my God. I love that. Yeah. I love that. Renee wants to know, Sarah, are you working on another book? So Renee, I've been a little delayed by some family, some tough family stuff. So hopefully I will be getting back in the writing swing of things soon. I'm really looking forward to that. Thank you so much for asking. Oh my gosh, such a lovely thing. Robin saying, oh, that is so beautiful. Thank you for sharing your treasures. Renee saying, yes, these are such lovely treasures. Oh yeah. So, okay. So you're writing on your own. So how was that for you? I think we're all wondering.
Yes, it was very scary. I was saying to my sister, I'm like, okay, what if Kirkus or Publishers Weekly says, well, you can certainly tell this is just one of the sisters because it's terrible.
Oh my God, that would be so scary.
Right? But luckily, Kirkus loved it. Publishers Weekly loved it. Book list, all were good reviews. But I was really on pins and needles because, I felt, I have a great, great editor and she loved it and a great agent and they all felt good about it. But yeah, it was, and I've written other things on my own, but because this is Liv, I was very nervous. So, and plus I didn't want to besmirch the brand. I had an obligation to my sister to make sure that it was just as good. So she loved it. And yeah, so I'm not so scared now because the reviews have been good, but I was apprehensive to say the least.
Yeah, it's so interesting, right? Because in the 5 years that I have hosted the series and almost 500 interviews, I've interviewed a lot of writing teams. I've interviewed you as sister teams, Lee Child and Andrew Child as brother teams. I've interviewed best friends from college, male friend teams, a female friend team, which is Greg Wands at E.G. Scott.
Right.
And 2 husband and wife couples. And it would be so interesting. I remember Lee Child was saying, he's like, I love co-writing with my brother because he's the only one who's willing to really endlessly obsess and process about the book. Did Jack Reacher walk, or did he strut, or did he
Right.
march, or did he run? And he's like, my wife is like, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up. I don't care. But I don't care if he walked or strutted or marched or ran or jogged or leaped. He's there, isn't he? Right. But his brother Andrew is like, no, he sashayed. He's like, no, let's pick apart every single word choice. So on one hand, it's like, someone who I'm not boring, who cares as deeply as I do, and who wants to get in there into the trenches and, get to every little tiny detail. On the other hand, I can imagine that you're like, I think, Annabelle should take this direction in chapter 6. And maybe Valerie's like, I don't see that for her. But you're like, ha, I wield the pen alone.
Yes. No, it's true. It is. I mean, the benefits, I have to say the benefits definitely outweigh the drawbacks of the co-writing, because we have such a beautiful collaboration and there's so much trust there. We have such similar senses of humor. We have a great time. And I feel we also elevate the story oftentimes by the brainstorming process. Fortunately, my editor loves to brainstorm. So even though I didn't have Valerie to necessarily, although I ran stuff by Valerie, and I mean, she's not saying like, well, I'm not writing it, so forget it. She'll always talk to me. But my editor, Jenny, is wonderful.
She starts sending you to voicemail.
Right. She's like, decline. I'm busy. But my editor is terrific. And so a lot of the brainstorming Valerie and I would have done, I did with her, which was very helpful. But I mean, writing, the difference of independently writing or co-writing is when you're independently writing, you do get to call all the shots. And so, you don't have to make your case for anything, which will happen when Valerie and I are writing together. We don't always agree. We don't fight, but we don't always agree on the direction. And then one or the other does have to make the case. There have to be sometimes compromises that not that either of us, I don't think, ever compromise to the detriment of the book. And a book a plot can go, or characters can go many ways, right? So it's not even to say that one is right or one is wrong. It's just the preference of how you want to go. So I have enjoyed just being able to do that on my own, but I definitely miss being able to shoot a chapter to her and say, can you finish this? Or can you, can you describe this room or whatever? I couldn't do that this time. It was all on my shoulders.
Right. Listen, Valerie, get to work.
Right.
Oh my gosh, I love it. I think it would be both of those things. Robin's saying strange fellow authors to me are Isabella Maldonado and Jeffrey Beavers. That was unexpected, wasn't it? She said, but it worked. It totally worked. I interviewed them as well. Thank you for reminding me.
Yeah.
Renee wants to know, does your daughter want to write or become an author or screenplay writer?
No, and I have twins, boy-girl twins, and they're both good writers. But of course, as probably most mothers know, if you try to steer them in that direction, it doesn't really work, even though I think they could both be able to do it. So no, my daughter loves animals, and she really, that's what she wants to have a career in. And my son loves marketing. He's trying to figure it out. I think he would like to do something maybe in TV. So if some of these things that I'm working on go to production, I could see him coming along and having a role in that. But my daughter did used to be in musical theater. Maybe she would come back to it and act. I don't know. It's possible.
Oh my gosh. So many exciting possibilities.
Right.
You guys, we are almost out of time. So we didn't even get a chance to get to all of this amazing praise that this book has earned. Lisa Unger, the New York Times bestselling author of The New Couple in 5B, saying Constantine delivers psychological suspense but mesmerizes until the last page. Neva Rose saying Liv Constantine always delivers a twisty and addictive thriller like no other. Oh my gosh, I'm putting all of this here. Mary Kubica saying Liv Constantine raises the bar high. Sarah Pekkanen, Liv Constantine at the top of her game with this riveting, twisty thriller. We have Riley Sager saying Liv Constantine proves to be a master of domestic malice. Carola Lovering, who was on for her last book or two, saying psychological thriller lovers are in for a darkly delicious treat. There's so much I can't even get to it. Kimberly McCreight saying a compulsively readable nail biter. So I'm putting all of these in the chat so that you can all read them at your leisure, because there's so much, including Alex Finley, Rachel Kohler Croft. The list just goes on and on and on. And I want to remind you guys that the book is not even out yet. Liv is coming on to give us the inside scoop and take our most pressing questions live. And you can order from our favorite woman-owned independent bookstore, and the good folks at Murder by the Book will ship this out to you next Tuesday, the day that the book drops. And if you are team pre-order, and we are all team pre-order, you get that bonus chapter. And you're not going to want to miss that. So here again is that link. Liv, thank you so much for coming on to give us the inside scoop on Don't Open Your Eyes. And I want to thank everybody for joining us for your Mystery Monday. I hope your week is off to a killer start.
Thank you.
And don't forget to pre-order so you can get that extra chapter.
Right. Thank you. And thanks, everybody.
Yay. Thank you so much, Liv. All right, you guys, that's a wrap for us. I will see you next week. May the days and pages fly. Renee saying thank you, Lynn and Sarah, for this wonderful event. Oh, thank you. And thank you to everyone who watched and didn't comment. Josephine saying thank you for talking about writing challenges. Nathan, Mindy, Kiara, Jane, Bonnie with one N, David, Becky, Bruce, Melissa, Jan, Jane, Sandy, Josephina, Janet, Marie, Kathy, Kelly. I can't get to everyone, but I see you. Thank you for being here. Yes. And thank you for being with us. All right, you guys, have a great night, and I will see you next week.